Well, good afternoon, and I'm really excited to have this opportunity to introduce Enabling Enterprise to you and tell you a little bit about what we've been doing. So Enabling Enterprise really started for me as a teacher on the Teach First programme, where I taught for a couple of years in a school in Hackney. I taught business studies, and it became apparent quite quickly that lots of students I was working with, we've had some examples of some wonderful students this afternoon, but lots of students I was working with were really struggling with some of the most basic skills. Things like just being able to sit next to each other and work sensibly, being able to present, being able to share ideas. And I worried that a traditional textbook approach simply wasn't going to have the effect that we wanted, in turning something like that into something maybe a little bit more like that, or something like that, which is rather more literally true than I'd like to admit, into something that was a bit more like that. All those pictures are purely illustrative, I hasten to add. So to address this, so the problem wasn't just my classroom, it wasn't just me, but it's a far wider problem. We hear quite a lot every time the exam results come out that employers are complaining that actually lots of the young people that they want to employ simply don't have some of those basic skills that they need. It's also the case that lots of young people in London, almost half, still leave school without 5 good GCSEs. And I read recently that 1 in 5 of the students who do get GCSEs will be out of work by the time they're 21 because they simply lack basic motivation and social capital, being able to work as part of an organisation. So what we did, myself and a team of teachers, we decided to set up a non-profit, which is called Enabling Enterprise, to try and really address this problem. We decided that the skills that students really need are things like financial literacy, being able to work as part of a team, being able to organise themselves to get things done, being able to work with other people, and being able to present to an audience. So what do we do? Well, this became year-long courses, and what we essentially do is we help teachers to embed skills development throughout their teaching. And the way we do that is we put together year-long courses that can sit alongside any subject, and these are all focused around a central project. So whether the students learn about humanities by creating an anti-poverty campaign, or whether they're learning about IT by setting up an internet-based company, or whether they're learning French by doing a bit of international trading, whatever it is, by having a project, they're developing those core skills. And what we provide is some initial teacher training. We provide the full year's worth of teaching resources, and we also take the students out on 3 trips over the year to some really great organisations. So our kids learn about accounting with UBS, an investment bank, or they learn about the importance of French by doing a video conference with the Paris office of an international law firm. Teachers deliver the courses in their own classrooms, students hopefully benefit, and at the end of the year students also get an additional GCSE recognising what they've done. I wanted to show you a few pictures of our event because this is something that I think really excites the students. Ironically, from my classroom you could see Canary Wharf out the window, but it just seemed like 1,000 miles away to the students. And to be able to take them there, going to meet people and show them what happens and that they can work there too is a really inspiring thing, I think. And in terms of the impact, obviously for me starting out as a teacher, it was wonderful to see the individual students. So a group of students who actually, English wasn't their first language, they weren't terribly good at it, but they actually managed to set up an after-school tuition for adults who wanted to learn a European foreign language, which was their first language. And they were turning over a couple of £100 a month doing that. But actually on a broader scale, we've seen that the 600 students that we worked with last year, we can still see those huge changes in, for example, being able to organise themselves, being able to lead a group, being able to give presentations in front of groups. So where are we now? So this is really only our 2nd year of running, so fairly early days. We've got 9 courses, so whatever the subject, there's a course that a teacher can deliver which embeds skills in their classroom. We've got about 20 programmes running in London, working with 40 teachers, and about 1,500 students signed up this year so far. That's actually increased since I put that presentation together, and we've got over 2,000 students we're working with this year, which is very exciting. So what would we like to do? Why are we here today? So eventually, we'd like every student in London to have the opportunity to develop these sort of core skills. So we're not just giving them qualifications, but we're actually building them up. So, they've got their qualifications, but they can also get a job, hold it down, and really develop and grow in it. In the short term, schools subscribe to our programmes. They pay about £1,000 for the full course for the full year for as many students as they want to do it. But unfortunately, some of the students who we'd most like to work with are in the most challenging schools, which are also the most financially constrained schools. And I'm so passionate that that's never a reason for the students not to benefit from it. Your support today, support of around £5,000 say, would allow us to work with an additional 250 students across London. And also, we are a small organisation, so contribution today to allow us to work with more of those students would help us to prove our case even more strongly, but also just have an impact on that group of students who are going to go through a school system and never have that opportunity again. As I said as well, business partnerships are a big part of what we do, so I'd be delighted to talk to anybody afterwards as well if you have links which you think might be interested in supporting us. But thank you very much indeed.